Hello and welcome to the FlexPro YouTube channel. If this is your first time listening, be sure to subscribe, and as always, let us know your feedback in the comments. So let's jump into this. This week we're going to be breaking down how Hollywood celebrities get into the absolute peak shape of their careers, what they go through, whether it be mental or physical, and if it's worth that level of stress on them. And then at the end of this video, we're going to break down how one individual has lost over 112 pounds very recently, and they've done it in a way that set them up for a future success, whether that be physically, mentally, both in life and their career, and how you too could do the same. So stick through us. We're going to go through all the trials and tribulations, and we look forward to your feedback.
Losing the weight is the hardest part, I think. I did it for Rush and did it again for this, and it was exhausting. I'd much rather put it on, work the Thor sort of weight, than this. It's, you don't, all the chemical imbalance and kind of mood swings and sensitivity to all sorts of stupid trivial things.
What was the first thing you ate when you were like, okay, now I'm over this? Can you
we went to a restaurant and had just kind of everything that we couldn't have, be pasta, pizza, hamburgers, steak, high calorie foods. But it wasn't nearly as satisfactory as I thought it was going to be. You kind of build it up for so long and then you have it and you're kind of like, that's it. And so you sort of realize it's, for me anyway, it's more about like, you just want what you can't have a lot of the time.
It was a lot of dietary restrictions. I didn't eat carbs for like 2 months. That was kind of gnarly. I don't really think that's fun. You put your body through a lot, so it's like, you pick your moments. That was a moment. But
definitely.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever quite trained as hard physically or in that respect, this kind of way for your body, other than this movie. It was definitely a test.
For breakfast, I'll eat eggs and I'll eat gluten-free toast. But I've also done a lot of intermittent fasting recently. Not during while I'm shooting, but on days off. So I would do 18-6 fasting. So I won't eat for 18 hours and I'll compress everything into 6 hours of the day. And if I'm doing that, then I don't eat breakfast. What I've also done is if I know I have a big meal coming up, I'll fast for like 24 hours leading up to that meal. I cook. What I'll do is I'll make chicken breast and put like Indian or Pakistani spices on it, because that's a nice way to get some flavor in there. I also make a lot of buffalo burgers, although they did not have those in London because they don't have buffalo and bison there.
What are your favorite snacks?
This is gonna be the lamest answer possible. Sugar snap peas. After a few months, I don't think your brain can tell the difference between potato chips and sugar snap peas. That's a lie. Every single time. How did I become this person? I used to not be like this. I used to see people talk like this, and I would be like, oh, that person's such a douchebag. And now I talk like this. All the douchebags don't know they're douchebags.
We're talking about losing the weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you lose the weight for the row, and you what do you eat? Like a calorie a day? Is that it?
You eat a little egg white in the morning. You eat 5 ounces of chicken at lunch and 5 ounces of beef in the evening, and a couple of Diet Dr. Peppers in between. And man, do those taste good after 10 days.
Yeah.
Tastes like cheesecake.
Yeah, but I don't know. I see the mental strain of that. It would drive me crazy. I would get angry.
You get a little clinical, as my wife says. You get
clinical?
A little sharp.
Do you do that Killer Joe voice when you're hungry? That
drop it. They just
ease
out and go, honey. Do not throw the rest of that food away. That's good food. I can't eat it, but you should.
Yeah, you gotta have it.
Transformation, or this sort of journey with my health and my fitness at the end of 2019. Even when I wasn't doing anything physical, I found myself getting sleepy at work, and it was because of all the fat food I was eating.
How did you know you were made of magic? Because my Nana says that we have it in our family, and sometimes I get these tinglings in my hands.
You should talk to your physician.
I felt like I could barely walk upstairs without being out of breath. And this one day I kind of just saw myself without a shirt on, and it was just ridiculous. I could not believe I let myself get this far. And so that's what sort of started it all. And I was fortunate enough to have a trainer who was willing to help me through all that. And yeah, that's how I spent most of 2020. And that's really helped my body. And I could feel the difference between eating a lot of meat and eating plant-based stuff, and that's really helped me as well. I work out typically 6 times a week. I'd spend like an hour and a half at the gym, like an hour lifting and then like half an hour doing cardio. I try to do that at least. Recently, because of my new show, I'm kind of forcing myself not to do that, even though I feel it in my body that I want to.
So as you guys saw in this episode, a lot of mental stress, a lot of restrictions, and a lot of not spending quality times with your loved ones during the prep for this movie. Now, what makes this very different than you, me, or anybody else doing this is that there's millions of dollars on the line. So it is absolutely worth it at that point, because you're setting yourself and your family up for an overall better life. But for us regular Joes, it's not always about that. It's about being healthier, happier, and more confident. And the way you do that is like you saw Joseph do there at the end. Obviously, he has a massive role in the Spider-Man movies, and he's been able to launch his career from it, but he didn't want to be another guy who was just cast as a fat guy in Hollywood. Not for anything other than he could feel his health declining. So what did he do? He exercised in a way that was possible to maintain over long periods of time. He wasn't doing anything crazy. He wasn't dropping this, that, and the other. He was eating foods that were healthier, full of nutrients, and made him feel full and satiated. So the key to all of this is finding something that's fixed for you, whether that be utilizing a plant-based diet, or having your meals prepped out at the beginning of the week, or even using different subscription-based things such as meal prep companies and protein shake companies and stuff like that just sets you up for a more efficient life. It's all about you personally and what works for you. So comment below what does work for you, what you've tried, and your opinions on things so that others can learn from your trials and tribulations. And as always, have an absolutely amazing week.